Good day, Momentum Financial Planning. My name is Natalie Harrison, and I'll be your host today. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our new Unreal virtual three-dimensional studio, which we have specifically built for our MFP Outcome Matters events. Please post your questions in the chat box for us to respond to them. If you need any more information regarding our global fund range or any of our other investment solutions, please request a callback and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. The video of this session will be on our website on momentum.co.za under Investments and Savings. First up is Anton Swanepoel, who is the chairperson of the MFP Investment Committee within Momentum Financial Planning. Anton will be discussing why MFP have established the global house view and how it fits so well with the local house view that was launched earlier this year.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for that kind introduction. Colleagues, it gives me great pleasure to invite you to this global investment house view solution launch of Momentum Financial Planning. We are so excited to introduce you to the solutions that we've put together that will allow you to put a holistic value proposition in front of your clients with much confidence. A year ago, MFP embarked on a very formalized way of thinking through what are the best investment solutions that we can present to you to recommend to your clients. On the one hand, we need to mitigate risk in the business, but far more importantly, as MFP, we must be confident that our investment solutions that we present to you they are world-class and you can have much confidence to present it to your clients. We follow due process. We've done our due diligence. We have listened to proposals of the best possible investment solutions that we can offer you. We are confident that with the global solutions that we've now put together, in addition to the local solutions that we have launched to you a month or two ago, that you will be able to compete at the highest level in the financial services industry. So we are so excited to invite you into this launch, and we urge you to pay attention to how all these solutions fit together in your global offering to your clients. The global investment solutions are arguably the best kept secret within Momentum. You will see as you listen to these presentations, the performance, the consistency, the awards that our global team has achieved and received over the years, all that put together will give you much confidence in presenting these solutions to your clients. There's one small difference between the global solutions and the local solutions. OBI, outcomes-based investing, is still our philosophy. We maintain a consistent philosophy throughout, local and global. The local solutions use inflation as the benchmark. Our offshore, our global solutions use global cash as the benchmark. Other than that, there is consistency in our positioning to our clients, global or local, and just the benchmark that is a significant difference. Colleagues, we are so excited to present these house view solutions to you. Enjoy the presentation. Please pay attention because you will see we are going to strengthen your value proposition significantly with these global house view solutions. Enjoy.
Next is Eugene Telliard. He is the Regional Manager in Momentum Wealth International, and we'll be talking about offshore diversification and why an investment plan that's open to opportunities abroad can help clients achieve better investment outcomes.
Thanks, Natalie. Hello, everyone. The best investment decisions are almost always evident with hindsight. Behavioral biases invariably deter investors when the opportunities are greatest. We have had a number of events recently, events where markets are falling, panic is setting in, volatility is increasing, and there is a lot of uncertainty. Events like the global financial crisis in 2008 and more recently the global pandemic shock. These events tend to test investors' resolve and commitment to their investment objectives. This also goes hand in hand with the decision to invest offshore. The global pandemic in many ways intensified investor biases and investors' risk aversion. Momentum Investments' behavioral finance team recently published a white paper that was done in conjunction with Oxford Risk, highlighting these biases that clients and advisors alike exhibit. These biases can lead to suboptimal investment outcomes, and this is very true when considering offshore investment specifically. We want to briefly focus on some of these biases and how they prevent or used to prevent investors from investing offshore. Why bother to invest offshore when we have so many good, profitable companies locally? Perhaps a question we have heard somewhere along the line. Investing offshore can sometimes make investors uncomfortable. There are so many things to consider. Which countries do you pick to invest in? What type of assets? They tend to stick to what is familiar and comfortable, the things that they know. Investors often, therefore, don't want to invest too far from home. We call this home country bias, and whether you are a South African, English, or from the US, just investing in your home market means you miss out on opportunities elsewhere. The history of exchange controls in South Africa, good market returns locally, regulations, and an admirable self-sufficiency have made the home country bias here ingrained. But there is a whole world out there that investors are missing out on. The unfortunate consequence of this is that investors lose out on a vast set of international opportunities. Investors are consumers of many of these companies' goods on a daily basis. They work on an HP laptop with Microsoft applications. They use an Apple phone to buy products online through Amazon, and yet they don't expose their money to be part of the growth of these companies. Confirmation bias, on the other hand, is the natural human tendency to seek information or emphasize information that confirms an existing conclusion or belief. This bias can keep investors from seeking offshore exposure because they had adverse experiences in the past. Here we can look at the 2000 dot-com bubble and subsequent returns South African investors in particular experienced. Investors were on the receiving end of fairly weak local currency in 2001 and 2002, along with weak performance globally relative to local markets. Events like these can cause investors to stick to a belief that local is better, that it's too volatile to invest offshore, thereby again limiting their opportunities and leading to suboptimal investment outcomes. In order to avoid these biases influencing investment decisions, it's important to understand the benefits and facts associated with each investment option available and the reasons for investing offshore. Investing offshore provides a myriad of opportunities to investors. Exposure to companies and sectors that aren't available locally. Exposure to economies with varying growth trajectories, currency protection, and, of course, protection against inflation. But arguably, one of the most important of these is diversification. The key diversification from a client's overall investment perspective is to invest beyond their home market and embrace the wider international opportunity set. This demonstrably decreases risks and increases return potential over the long term. Global investing by institutional investors has become conventional wisdom in the past 2 decades, with a steadily increasing proportion of assets invested outside of the home market. Close to 60% of pension fund assets in OECD countries are invested in foreign markets now. Home country bias that we mentioned earlier is becoming a thing of the past, and it's usually the case, subject to local regulations, that the smaller the home country, the larger the foreign allocation. This makes sense. Small countries have commensurately small investment opportunities, often limited liquidity and narrow markets with inadequate diversification. South Africa is a case in point. The economy represents 0.4% of global GDP, as you can see on the slide. The stock market is a similar proportion of broad global equity market indices, such as the MSCI All Country World All Cap Index, a benchmark which captures close to 15,000 publicly listed companies globally and 99% of global equity investment opportunity set. Put another way, a South African-based investor who restricts investment solely to domestic stocks, is leaving behind 99.6% of equity opportunities. The stark reality of these statistics cannot underline the importance of diversifying offshore more. The South African market is one of the most concentrated in the world. Almost 30% of the market capitalization is represented by just 2 stocks and 50% by 5. This next slide further emphasizes the concentration risk that exists within the South African market and highlights the importance of diversifying offshore. The information technology sector, for example, represents roughly 20 and 27% in terms of sector weightings in the Aussie and Swiss respectively. But within that 20 and 27%, 92% is made up of one particular share, Naspers. The same is the case for basic materials, both fairly large proportions of the respective indices, but again more than 50% of these allocations are made up of 2 shares in particular, in Anglo and BHP. The investable universe in South Africa is also getting smaller and smaller, as can be seen in this slide. This means that the opportunity set for investors who focus solely on South Africa is getting smaller and smaller over time. Contrast that to the international space. This slide shows the stark contrast to what we have been seeing on the local exchange. Splitting between more traditional IPOs and special purpose acquisition companies or SPACs, we can clearly see that the enormous amount of new companies entering the international investment arena. Now, this does not mean that all companies will be top performing, but it puts into perspective the myriad of opportunities that exist internationally. We can see here that not only is the investment universe smaller relative to the global landscape, the companies locally are also dwarfed in comparison to some global peers. These companies clearly provide a much bigger footprint and possibly better growth opportunities. Apart from the mitigation of risk through offshore diversification, from an investment perspective, offshore markets clearly provide investors with more depth and breadth relative to local markets. This allows investors to better utilize various asset classes in various regions across the world to better diversify their risk and have access to far more investment opportunities for growth. Many of you will probably be familiar with the next slide, which shows the performance of a range of asset classes over time, but it neatly illustrates the investment opportunities available outside of South Africa, as well as the huge variation in returns over time and the challenges of selection and timing. When investing offshore, investors need to remember the most important principles. Be careful of following the herd and watch out for investing for the wrong reasons. A common question is, when is the best time to invest offshore? Trying to time the entry point for investing is always difficult. Very few investors, and managers for that matter, can consistently demonstrate success in timing the market. Investors sometimes get caught up waiting for the local currency to strengthen before making the decision to invest offshore. This slide clearly shows that while investors wait for the currency to strengthen, global markets can run and investors end up paying more for the assets than they would have. Getting a handle on whether the local currency is cheap or not usually involves a lot of guesswork, especially with one of the most volatile currencies in the world. It is thus imperative that a structured plan is followed. Time in the markets most certainly beats timing the market, and that is never more relevant than for offshore investments. Clearly, the diversification benefits available offshore is not only that of reducing risk, but also adding to an investor's opportunity set in order to achieve better investment outcomes. Add to that the benefits of investing in economies growing sustainably more quickly than South Africa, in currencies which offer the prospect of long-term strength against the rand, in industries which are largely unavailable domestically, and in the world's established and emerging growth stocks, and the case for global diversification becomes compelling. At the end of the day, an offshore investment portfolio should be created around a client's specific needs, whether that be wealth generation, capital preservation, or funding a specific offshore need like immigration or purchasing an asset offshore like a house. Decisions that are influenced by fear or greed are the worst an investor can make. Markets are unpredictable and cannot be controlled. Therefore, having a sound investment plan that's open to the opportunities abroad can help investors structure more optimal investment portfolios. Thank you.
I'm super excited to be here today to take you through an offshore solution that I personally as the global fund specialist and proud to take out into the South African market. But before I get there, you heard from Eugene Telliard earlier on why offshore is an important inclusion within your client's overall investment portfolio. But while the investment case for investing is exciting, actually making the investment offshore can be a more daunting task. Which asset classes should I choose? Which currencies, regions, countries, and industries? Should I invest in growth or value stocks, large cap or small cap companies? Should I invest in emerging markets or developed markets? How much risk should I take? How do I manage volatility? All these questions can be daunting indeed, time-consuming to research, and a diversion from your day-to-day job of financial advice. And that brings me to why we are here today. We have a solution that will take the guesswork out of navigating the offshore landscape, will remove the burden from your shoulders of selecting the optimal asset allocation and fund manager mix, while still providing you access to the full range of investment opportunities globally. That solution is Momentum Global Investment Management, a specialist offshore investment manager that can help guide you along the offshore investment journey so that you can free up your time to focus on what is most important, the advice needs of your clients. Momentum Global Investment Management, or MGIM for short, has built its business by assisting financial advisors in South Africa and around the world in structuring and managing globally diversified solutions to help advisors and their clients navigate the plethora of investment opportunities offshore.
Momentum Global Investment Management was established in the UK as a specialist global investment manager. The firm is part of Momentum Metropolitan Holdings Limited, a large South African insurance and investment business listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. We are deliberately different. We have developed a unique investment philosophy that prioritizes the prospect of you achieving your own unique investment goals. This is supported by a tried and tested focused investment process. Together, we call this the Momentum Outcome-Based Investing Approach. We focus on designing, building, and managing outcome-based investment solutions and on providing investment consulting services.
We started Momentum Global Investment Management as far back as 1998. And the interesting thing is, it was started a year after South Africa relaxed exchange controls. And Momentum responded really quickly. In fact, in a year's time, we launched this business in order to respond and to deliver solutions for South Africans' offshore investment requirements. Today, we manage well in excess of $5 billion in global international solutions. In fact, in the last 5 years, we've also started to deliver investment consulting solutions to defined benefit schemes in the United Kingdom. And today, we advise on 40 billion sterling of assets. London is by far the most international of global financial centers in the world.
I've been in the investment industry for almost 50 years, and there's one big thing I've learned in that period of time is that you have to be at the center of the industry, and London is that very center globally.
Behind me is the Bank of England that has been the rock of the financial center for many, many years.
Momentum Investments has an outcome-based investing philosophy. This means that the investment team in London use a diverse range of asset classes to create portfolios with a single focus to help clients achieve their goals. In terms of making the journey comfortable, I think there are two angles to that. The first one is building portfolios that are robust and ride out market storms as well as they possibly can. Still, there's an element of people's anticipations and expectations. We want to manage expectations ahead of time to help people understand when markets are bad, what that means, when markets are good, what that means. That's why we focus a lot as a business on getting out there, meeting our clients, and being open, communicative, and transparent. As the global fund specialist, I represent Momentum Global Investments in South Africa. I work very closely with financial advisors, bringing the global expertise and outcome-based investing to their doorsteps. I work closely with the investment team in the UK, and through this collaboration, I can provide asset class and economic views, fund insights and support to advisors, and increase the awareness of our offshore solutions right here in South Africa. Together, we can help their clients along their offshore investment journey.
that diversifying beyond your home market, whether it's South Africa or frankly the UK or even the United States, is essential. So you've got to open up the whole world to your opportunity set. And of course, investing outside South Africa, you invest in economies that are at different stages of the cycle, much bigger economies, much deeper economies, lots of different industries.
We focus this business very much on delivering solutions to a larger expat community. In fact, we have clients across 6 continents in our solutions.
We operate in regions like Asia, Hong Kong, Singapore, Shanghai, Beijing, Tokyo, parts of Southeast Asia, Middle East, Latin America, Europe, offering services to IFAs who in turn work with expats. And we have become the go-to place for multi-asset risk profile solutions for those advisors.
Research is imperative to the business. The investment team tries to be ahead of the curve, looking forward as far as they can into the future. Now, they don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. But what they do have is a sound process that looks at fundamentals. The team looks at the asset classes that they think are cheap today and will reward investors going forward, and stay away from the ones that they think are expensive and they think will detract from performance.
When we look at employing and attracting staff into this business, the question is, of course, one of culture, right? What is your integrity? What is your can-do attitude? And we are lucky to have a group of people here that are incredibly well qualified, great experience. So just to give you an idea, we've got 3 CAs, 6 CFAs, 8 student CFAs, 5 actuaries. I mean, that's half the staff are really professionally qualified.
We want different views. We want people at ease in being able to challenge all of us. If you've got that terrific vibe where everybody's used to working together, enjoys working together, it's an open culture where people can speak their minds without being sort of trodden on by senior people. That's very, very important. So I think that openness is very important to encourage that debate and challenging of ideas.
Momentum Global Investment Management has the best of both worlds. In South Africa, the team have behind them a very large and very supportive parent company in the form of Momentum Metropolitan Holdings. Yet they are structured like a boutique in the City of London, focused on delivering investment outcomes for our clients. So MGIM has the best of both worlds, the core proper support, but also a focus, nimbleness and agility that comes from being a relatively small business.
For more information about Momentum Global Investment Management, please contact Natalie Harrison at natalie.harrison@momentum.co.za. Visit our website at momentum.co.uk or speak to your Momentum consultant.
And now Momentum Financial Planning has joined forces with MGIM to provide you with a truly global investment offering that fits directly into the MFP investment planning philosophy. We believe that through this collaboration, and with the administration support of Momentum Wealth International, the group's offshore investment platform, the new MFP Global House Investment View will be a compelling solution to take out to your clients. So to take you through this international solution, I have 2 of my colleagues joining me today from Momentum Global Investment Management in the United Kingdom, namely Richard Stutley, a portfolio manager, and Robert White, who is a senior investment analyst. Richard and Robert are members of the 19-person investment team, and importantly, they are the lead portfolio managers on the multi-asset class fund range, which we'll be introducing to you today. But before we delve into these offshore solutions, Richard, please provide some insight into Momentum Global Investment Management and why the MFP advisors should feel confident in partnering with the business.
Thank you, Nats, and thank you everyone for joining us. From our beginnings in the United Kingdom in 1998, Momentum Global Investment Management has focused on building and managing multi-asset risk profiled solutions for clients around the world. That's all we do, and we take great pride in doing it. Our solutions are designed to meet the varying investment goals of our investors, and we focus on achieving those return objectives with the least possible risk. We want to maximize the probability of achieving our investment objectives in an array of market conditions, whilst reducing drawdowns over any 12-month period so that our clients stay invested and thus benefit from what tend to be rising markets over time. In terms of the reasons why advisors should feel confident partnering with MGIM, well, I think there are a few. Firstly, we combine the benefits of being in London, which is still, despite our defeat to Italy in the football, it is still one of the world's leading financial centres, and we combine that with the benefits of being a global business. Our investment universe and our client base are truly global, giving us valuable insights into international trends and developments. Secondly, although Robert and I are the managers of the offshore multi-asset funds we are introducing to you today, we draw on the skill and experience of the wider investment team in the UK. That's 19 dedicated investment specialists, as Nats mentioned earlier. Across that team, we have extensive multi-asset experience, which helps to ensure our portfolios are well positioned to meet their investment objectives in an ever-changing investment landscape. Thirdly, and bottom left on this slide, our core strength is detailed research and an in-depth understanding of a broad range of asset classes. This, along with experience in selecting third-party managers, allows us to look through the noise when building portfolios. Fourth, we adopt a strong risk management process. The reality is that investors are rewarded for taking risk over time, but our risk management process helps us to identify and reduce exposure to unintended risks that can otherwise bring unnecessary volatility to a portfolio. And then last but not least, our results and substantial asset base speak for themselves. Not only have we won multiple awards globally, but the fact that MGIM manages over $6.3 billion of assets for clients across 6 continents also highlights the trust advisors around the world already have in our global multi-asset expertise.
So to summarize, you can be confident that MGIM has the key components to run successful multi-asset class solutions globally. Given the team's long track record of managing multi-asset class mandates, given their well-resourced, experienced and stable investment team, given their global breadth and broad asset class and investment manager coverage, and finally, given their risk management process. Now moving on to the investment process side, just like the broader Momentum Investments Group, MGIM adopts an outcome-based investment philosophy. How do you incorporate this investment philosophy into your investment process? And how does an outcome-based investment philosophy assist investors achieving their international investment goals? Rob, let me direct these questions to you.
Thank you, Natalie. So outcomes-based investing aligns well with what your clients want to achieve when they invest offshore, namely an absolute real return in hard currency. While markets are volatile and uncertainties abound, giving an absolute indication of expected return over specific time horizons provides a more tangible goal compared to abstract benchmarks or arbitrary peer groups. In this way, your clients are better positioned to make specific plans for their future, which will in turn help them stay on their investment journey, even when times get tough. This makes your job a bit easier from a financial planning perspective, because your clients will be less likely to make knee-jerk decisions based on short-term thinking and derail the financial plan you prepare for them. Outcomes-based investing guides our approach in determining the optimal strategic asset allocation to achieve the desired return outcome over specific time horizons, while also minimizing the risk of experiencing large drawdowns or failing to meet the stated outcomes. Key to the success of this approach is the use of multi-layer diversification and flexibility to seek returns from multiple sources.
Balancing capital return with risk sounds great, but could you please delve deeper into how the portfolio construction process within a multi-asset class fund actually works, especially with the investment landscape having changed so significantly over the last few years? For years, investors have benefited from a great 30-year bond bull market, but with bond yields at historic lows, the return potential and diversification benefits of holding these safe haven bonds are substantially reduced. So where do you look to now for diversification with a multi-asset class portfolio. Added to this is the conundrum of the current macroeconomic environment. On the positive side, there is undoubtedly an economic boom on the way. Pent-up demand on a potentially huge scale will be released, turbocharged by massive fiscal spending and ultra-loose monetary policy for major central banks across the world, which will be really good for risk assets. But on the negative side, the spread of the new COVID-19 Delta variant is hampering recovery within some markets, and a rise in commodity prices and supply chain disruptions is giving rise to inflation concerns. So how do you go about balancing both the risks and opportunities that are clearly abound in the market today?
Our portfolio construction process goes beyond the traditional 60-40 portfolio of equities and bonds and utilises a broad range of asset classes and strategies to increase the probability of our portfolios behaving positively across a wide range of economic scenarios. We use multiple sources to generate performance. Firstly, asset allocation is the most important step in our process, as it is the primary driver of returns. The first step in this process is to determine our optimal strategic asset allocation for the various return objectives by determining the correct long-term mix of assets that will deliver the highest probability of achieving the investment outcome, while also minimising the risk of falling short of the target or experiencing substantial negative drawdowns. To do this, we run extensive models which use a mix of historic data and forward-looking inputs to produce millions of potential portfolios. We then evaluate each of these portfolios according to 4 criteria to establish the optimal portfolio for clients to achieve their objectives. This optimization process significantly improves the risk-return characteristics of our portfolios by expanding the universe of available asset classes, harvesting diversification benefits, and reducing portfolio risk without giving up expected returns. The results of this process are shown in this slide, where the optimal outcomes-based investment portfolio, as illustrated by the red dot, offers the highest expected return for a defined level of risk. To complement our long-term strategic asset allocation, we overlay shorter-term tactical tilts to take advantage of relative value within and across asset classes. Our active asset allocation decisions look to determine the relative attractiveness of asset classes based on our assessment of the macroeconomic environment, valuations, and investor sentiment as well. We found that this process often throws up pricing anomalies, either for the better or the worse, which enables us to upweight or downweight asset classes to enhance returns or minimise risk. These mispricings are the starting point for our tactical asset selection and portfolio construction process. And just as an example of how this filters through into our portfolio today, we're currently underweight the US equity market, and that's given concerns of elevated valuation in certain sectors of the market, particularly mega cap tech. And instead, we're overweight in regions like the UK, where we see more opportunity and value. Once we've established an optimal asset allocation, we look to add further value at the implementation stage through manager selection and strategy selection. In fixed income, we look to duration management, yield curve management, and credit risk management, whereas in equities, we follow a balanced style approach, and that's across value, growth, quality, and size factors. Each of these different styles generates excess returns over time, but they do so during different market environments. Our research has shown that blending these complementary investment styles is the best way to generate excess returns over time, while also minimizing risk and making the investment journey just generally more palatable. And that's shown on this slide, where we show how different styles have performed and the variability of those returns, as well as their volatility. And as mentioned, blending them together takes out much of this risk, yet still produces market-beating returns. Having made our asset class and style selections, we express our views via external investment managers or direct securities as we see fit. Importantly, as asset allocation is the primary driver of returns, we still use single asset class managers within our portfolios so that we can continue to be in control of that asset allocation process. We strongly believe there is no single investment manager that can consistently outperform across all areas. Highly specialized managers implementing a consistent and focused approach can add value for investors instead. And where our research and experience show that active management does not pay off, we're very happy to use passive strategies, systematic strategies, or direct securities to deliver the desired asset class return at the lowest possible fee. The benefits of our global reach is that we have access to a depth of talented managers from across the world, as highlighted by this slide. And all of these elements of our process come together to maximize the chance that we deliver on the investment outcomes that we are targeting. From our asset allocation, portfolio construction, and risk management processes, to our use of multi-layer diversification in terms of investment styles, asset classes, and investment strategies.
Robert, this is one comprehensive investment process, which clearly highlights that putting together an offshore portfolio is not about selecting the best performing asset manager from one year to the next, but rather it is about pulling many levers to ensure portfolios meet their return targets over time whilst remaining resilient against volatile market conditions. So that leads me perfectly into the offshore solution we are bringing to you today, because all of the characteristics covered earlier underpin all that the FSCA approved multi-asset class fund range represents. Richard, please tell us about the Global Managed Solutions Fund range, highlighting why the Investment Committee has approved these solutions as the go-to offshore solution for your clients' international investment needs.
Okay, well, the universe of investments when one goes offshore is pretty enormous. There are something like 600,000 publicly traded companies for you to choose from, upwards of 50,000 professionally managed funds. How then does one start to select a subset of investments from this enormous opportunity set? Your decisions in this regard do matter because not all investments are created equal. If you had chosen to invest in commodities over the past 3 years to the end of June, you would have made 14% in US dollar terms. If instead you had allocated to developed market equities at the start of the period, well, you would have made 52%, so a 38% spread between those two. Even an investment that is ultimately destined to go up over time will not necessarily do so in a straight line. For example, investors in global equities have at times been sat on pretty meaningful losses, like in Q1 last year. Therefore, not only do you need to pick a sensible portfolio of investments, you also need to have the conviction to stick with it during the inevitable bouts of volatility. Add to that all the usual questions, which we tried to show on this slide, things like active versus passive, liquidity, ESG, etc. And it becomes pretty clear that building an offshore portfolio takes a lot of work. We recognize how difficult it is to navigate this offshore landscape and to choose funds that are capable of delivering on your investment goals. We also recognize the great benefits of being able to invest with the peace of mind that the funds you own are likely to perform in line with your expectations. As a result, then, MGIM have developed the Momentum Global Managed Solutions Fund range, which consists of 3 risk-profiled multi-asset funds. They each have their own global cash return target and recommended holding period. And here they are. The Cautious Fund is our lowest risk fund, unsurprisingly, with a strategic weight of 30% in equities, 62% in fixed income, and the remainder in a mixture of commodities, real assets, and cash. As it's the lowest risk fund, the return target is also lower at cash plus 2.5% per annum, and it has the shortest recommended minimum holding period of 3 years. Next, the managed fund is more risky, with 60% in equities and 33% in fixed income. As a result, it has a higher return target of cash plus 4% per annum and a longer time horizon of 5 years. Finally, our most aggressive fund is the Growth Fund, which has 90% in equities with the remainder in fixed income and real assets. The return target is therefore the highest at cash plus 5.5% per annum, with a long-term investment horizon of at least 7 years. The portfolios are actively managed and allocated around the world using the best global fund managers across different styles and different asset classes. Through consistent application of this investment process, the funds have an excellent track record of delivering on their return objectives in US dollar terms since inception in 2008. The solutions have also generated attractive peer relative returns on both a pure performance and also risk-adjusted basis, as shown by this scatter graph. You want to be in the top left-hand quadrant of this chart, meaning high returns with low attendant risk, and that is where we are. Besides aligning well with the MFP investment philosophy, given that 3 funds cater for different risk-return profiles and investment horizons, there are 2 other reasons why the MFP Investment Committee have partnered with MGIM, which I want to briefly highlight before handing back to Nats. Firstly, we bring you access to some of the best global investment managers that you would otherwise not have access to in South Africa. One example we've used here is Rainier Investment Management, a growth-orientated equity manager based out of the US that I suspect is unfamiliar to many South African investors. Since we invested with Rainier in 2015, the fund has delivered cumulative excess returns of 71% as at the end of June, given its focus on growth equities, and is one of the many success stories to which we're exposed within our portfolios. Secondly, and finally, the portfolios build in genuine diversification, so you don't need to spend time researching and combining various asset managers and asset classes yourself. As can be seen on this slide, for the Global Managed Fund, a wide range of asset classes, investment styles, currencies, and investment managers are already combined within the fund. It's all there, ready to go. The same is also true of the Global Cautious and Global Growth funds. And with that, back to you, Nats.
Thank you so much, Richard and Robert, for providing such great insight into Momentum Global Investment Management and the offshore funds we are bringing to the MFP advisors today. Of course, the Global Managed Solutions Fund range is nothing without an offshore administration platform that make the ease of investing into these solutions as efficient and seamless as possible. And that is what our Momentum Investments' own world-class international administration platform is all about. Marius Cillier, one of the regional managers for Momentum Wealth International, will be taking you through the countless benefits the offshore platform has to offer clients in a bit. So in summary, Momentum Financial Planning, I hope after listening to Richard, Robert, and myself, you feel excited and confident about the offshore solution we have showcased to you today. From my side, what I am most looking forward to is the collaboration and partnership that will be taking place between our team in the UK, the Momentum Wealth International platform as the offshore administration arm, and most importantly, you, the Momentum Financial Planners. Together, we can remove the anxiety of navigating the offshore investment landscape so that your clients can achieve their international investment goals. Because with us, investing is personal. Marius Cillier, a regional manager within Momentum Wealth International, will be taking us through the benefits of Momentum Wealth International as the offshore investment platform through which you can access the Global Managed Solutions Fund range.
Thank you, Natalie. Good day. Momentum Wealth International is one of 2 platforms that facilitate international investments. The other is, of course, the Momentum Wealth platform. The Momentum Wealth platform is more geared towards asset swap or international feeder funds investments. These options give clients offshore exposure as part of their asset allocation, rather than externalizing money to then invest in hard currency. The returns of the asset swap and feeder funds investments will always pay out in rands to the investor. Interestingly, the flexible investment option on the Momentum Wealth platform can facilitate externalizing money and investing in hard currency. However, it offers no tax and estate planning benefits. If the contract owner of a flexible investment option dies, that investment will form part of their estate, and executors' fees, capital gains tax, and estate duty could be payable. The administration fee charged to the investor on a flexible investment option carries an offshore administration loading and attracts VAT, which generally makes it an expensive option for clients. Momentum Wealth International is the preferred platform for clients wanting to invest internationally to achieve their specific goal-based needs. These goals could include having their investment proceeds payable in a foreign currency, accessing the funds from anywhere in the world, and solving part of their immigration needs. Once clients have immigrated, they can keep their money invested on the Momentum Wealth International platform if they choose to do so. This is one of the many advantages of investing through a truly offshore platform. Just because they are living in a different country does not mean they have to change platforms. When we talk about externalizing money, we are referring to clients over the age of 18 using their 1 million rand discretionary allowance and their 10 million rand investment allowance. These allowances are per calendar year and not per tax year. Their rands are converted into hard currency, for example, US dollars, which is then invested onto the Momentum Wealth International platform. It's important to note that we can facilitate investments for clients that have money offshore already. It's not only for clients that want to take money out of South Africa and invest internationally. If you have a client, for example, that has money in an offshore bank account, not earning any interest, and is looking for better alternatives or investment opportunities, Momentum Wealth International should be considered. Momentum Wealth International was established in 1999. We administer in excess of $3 billion and is domiciled in Guernsey. Guernsey has been an international finance center for over 50 years, has a AA- credit rating from Standard & Poor's, and is both self-governing and self-funded. There are two products to choose from on the Momentum Wealth International platform. They are the International Investment option and the International Endowment option. The International Investment option requires a minimum investment of $25,000 or currency equivalent. It does not have a specific term. Withdrawals and additional investments can be made at any time. Tax statements are sent to the client to be dealt with in their own hands at their own marginal rate, and each contract can have unlimited contract owners. The International Endowment option requires a minimum investment of $18,000 or currency equivalent, has a 5-year restriction period, offers liquidity with the 100 underlying policy structure. Tax is deducted according to the 5-fund tax approach, and it allows for unlimited contract owners, lives assured, and beneficiary nominations. Note that these products do not support recurring contributions, only lump sum investments. When doing investment planning for a client, we tend to think about investment term, risk and return requirements, and investment horizons as the main investment considerations. As depicted by the slide on your screen, there are many tax and estate planning considerations when structuring an investment for a client. These include income tax, estate duty, executors' fees, probate, and citus tax. I would like to touch on some of these considerations in a bit more detail. At the outset, I mentioned a client can get offshore exposure either via asset swap or feeder fund investment through the Momentum Wealth platform. There are, however, tax consequences to structuring it in this manner. Let's think about the capital gain calculation for tax purposes by investing through a feeder fund or asset swap capacity. Compared to exactly the same investment amount invested in the same but hard currency fund, then done at the same currency conversion rates, but done through Momentum Wealth International. You will find that for calculation purposes of the capital gain, the depreciation of the rand is included in the feeder fund and asset swap calculation, and not for the Momentum Wealth International calculation. The capital gain calculated by using the base cost in US dollars, which is the functional currency, is converted to rand at the spot rate for Momentum Wealth International investments. Thus, the depreciation of the rand is not included for capital gains calculation purposes in a Momentum Wealth International calculation. This shows that the same investment executed through the Momentum Wealth International platform could be more tax efficient from a capital gains tax perspective. From a succession planning perspective, the Momentum Wealth International products offer more structuring options than the flexible investment option on the Momentum Wealth platform. The international investment option allows for joint contract owners, which in turn allows for joint and survivorship between contract owners. The joint and survivorship provision on the international investment option is applicable to all contract owners and not only between spouses. There are two variations of the international endowment option on Momentum Wealth International. They are the capital redemption bond and life insurance bond variations. The capital redemption bond variation of the international endowment option allows for joint and survivorship between spouses only and the nomination of unlimited successor contract owners. The life insurance bond version of the international endowment option allows for joint and survivorship between spouses, unlimited successor contract owners, as well as appointment of beneficiaries of proceeds. The international endowment option has many other tax and estate planning benefits. These include the fact that high income taxpayers or high net worth individuals will be paying tax within the endowment wrapper at 30% income tax rate and 12% capital gains tax rate, instead of, for example, 45% income tax rate and 18% capital gains tax rate in the investor's own hands. If the correct succession planning structure is implemented by way of continuation of the contract, the client will not pay executors' fees or citus tax. The life insurance bond version of the international endowment option could also qualify for protection from creditors according to Section 63 of the Long-Term Insurance Act. With the joint and survivorship provision between spouses on the endowment, spouses can enjoy rollover relief via the Section 4Q deduction. Endowment assets are considered deemed assets within the estate for estate duty calculation purposes. Also, the change of ownership from one owner in the endowment to the next does not trigger capital gains tax within the wrapper. Other tax and estate planning considerations when using an international platform like Momentum Wealth International includes situs tax and probate. Situs tax is an equivalent tax to South African estate duty, and SA offshore investors could be liable for UK inheritance tax or US estate tax together with South African estate duty. Situs tax does not apply to Momentum Wealth, but could apply to Momentum Wealth International. However, if the endowment is structured correctly, situs tax can be avoided altogether. When using the international investment option, situs tax could be applicable to some ETFs and share portfolios, but will not be applicable to unit trusts. Another consideration is probate. The probate process is supervised by a Guernsey court determining the validity of a will, settling disputes over who is to inherit, and the distribution of assets. It's an additional process in terms of the SA executor fulfilling their duties. Probate is a timely process involving additional costs. Probate can, however, be avoided by contractual overriding arrangements. These include joint and survivorship provision, successor contract owners, and beneficiary of proceeds nominations. In conclusion, you can see that by using a true international investment platform like Momentum Wealth International, there are many tax and estate planning benefits to the client. Not only can they potentially pay less taxes and costs, but we can also facilitate the ease of ownership transfer through efficient succession planning structures. Momentum Wealth International has a complete product value proposition. Compared to our main competitors in the market, we are the only platform that offers both variations of the international endowment option, as well as the international LISP offering, the international investment option. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me.
Hello again. Today we have covered all things related to investing offshore, from the key diversification benefits within your client's overall investment portfolio to the one-stop offshore solution in the form of the Global Cautious, the Global Managed, and the Global Growth Funds, and then finally to the benefits of our international platform through which you can access these funds. But hopefully you would have gathered today that we are all about partnerships, and for us, a partnership with you as the MFP advisor means more than just trying to position our offshore capabilities. While proven global investment expertise is non-negotiable, as is an efficient administration process, it is through working closely with you and providing you with top-notch information and support that we believe we can add the most value to your business. In terms of what that means for you, both Momentum Global Investment Management and Momentum Wealth International have specialist distribution support throughout South Africa whose sole job is to help you navigate the seemingly complex world of offshore investing. As our platform specialists, Marius, Eugene, Jurgens, and Shirley are licensed to provide advice, not in any way as a potential competitor to yourself, but so that they are properly trained, experienced, and regulated to provide guidance on the best MWI platform to use, as well as how best to structure the investments to provide the greatest estate planning to your clients. In terms of my role as the global fund specialist in South Africa, I'm your direct link to Robert and Richard, who you met earlier, as well as the rest of the 19-person investment team in the UK. I can provide economic and market insights, updates and support on the global managed fund range, which we introduced to you today, respond promptly to queries, and ensure you are equipped to handle the inevitable questions that may come from your clients. Between both MGIM and MWI, our philosophy is simple. We will do what we can to ensure you are equipped with all the information you need on the platform and the global managed solutions so that you feel confident to take the global house view to your clients. Technology is also an integral part of our offering. To keep you and your clients abreast of what is going on in global markets, I invite you to sign up to our WhatsApp bot to have bite-sized market updates, videos, and thought leadership pieces sent directly to your phone. Please ask your practice consultants about the simple sign-up process because registering is merely a few clicks away. Then I also implore you to visit our Global Matters portal for easy-to-consume information on all things related to offshore investing, including weekly thought leadership pieces written by our UK investment team, monthly commentary providing updates on the global markets and our global asset class views, an offshore investment guide providing guidance on which platform and which product to use, amongst other items, easy-to-consume videos on Probate, on MGIM, why Guernsey was chosen as the international finance center of choice for Momentum Wealth International. The list goes on and on. The Global Matters webpage truly is a one-stop knowledge center for you and your clients to turn to should you have any questions regarding the what, the why, and the how to invest offshore. And finally, on the technology front, Momentum Wealth International has a world-class secure portal through which you can obtain, amongst other items, a breakdown of all your offshore clients and the real-time valuations of their portfolios, and updated information on the global managed solutions funds through the Morningstar-backed fund selector tool. In addition, the portal allows you to generate and save offshore quotes and proposals for your clients so that when your clients are ready to proceed with their offshore investments, the proposals, along with the accompanying fact sheets, product brochures, and application forms, can be consolidated and sent directly to your email, ultimately making the offshore process as seamless as possible. And now going back to the practicalities of using the MFP Global House View. The Global Managed Solution Fund range, managed by MGIM in the UK, is the cornerstone of the offering. But importantly, it is packaged with a world-class international platform based in Guernsey, Momentum Wealth International. And when using the funds via the Momentum Wealth International platform, your clients will benefit from a platform fee discount. Platform administration fees will drop from 0.55% to 0.4% when using the Momentum Global Fund range, which is a 15 basis point fee saving just for your clients. But as we realize your clients' needs and circumstances are completely unique, there are also additional avenues through which you can access the opportunities in global markets. In addition to the Momentum Wealth International platform, as mentioned earlier, our global managed solutions are also available via Investo and the local Momentum Wealth platform. The ability to access US dollar-denominated funds is a particularly unique attribute of the Momentum Wealth platform and enables you to include the Global Core Shares Fund, the Global Managed Fund, or the Global Growth Fund within your local investment portfolios should you wish to increase your offshore diversification. But should you not want to invest in US dollar-denominated funds or would like to continually invest through a monthly debit order, our offshore expertise is also available through Rand-denominated feeder funds. We have 3 international feeder funds that invest directly into the 3 global managed funds I mentioned earlier, which means you still get access to our global multi-asset expertise, no matter the investment vehicle through which you choose to invest. It is important to reiterate that when wanting to invest clients' money internationally, we still advocate using the Momentum Wealth International so that clients gain true global diversification in US dollar terms. The additional distribution arms through the likes of Momentum Wealth and Investo just enable your clients to still access global markets no matter their personal circumstances. In short, I hope you have seen that we have all the ingredients to assist you and your clients in all global matters, from specifically designed global multi-asset funds to efficient platform administration and all the associated benefits the platform provides, to world-class information and technology support, and finally, to unparalleled personal support on the ground right here in South Africa. We are here to help you and your clients along their international investment journey. The MFP Global House View we have brought to you today puts the final tool in your toolbox so that you can offer a truly holistic solution to cater for all your clients' investment needs. From the MFP Local House View in the form of the model portfolios and funds, to the 3 global funds that comprise the MFP Offshore House View, the complete range of solutions cater for a variety of needs, from initial liquidity requirements to more medium to long-term capital growth requirements. Importantly, the solutions are all client-centric and have been designed to keep your clients invested so that they can achieve their financial goals. As a final point on offshore investing, there has been a clear trend increasing over time where advisors have been externalizing their assets offshore. This can be seen in this graph, where assets into foreign collective investment schemes have slowly been increasing over the last few years. So I hope that after today, you feel confident to take out the MFP Offshore House View to your clients so that you too can participate in this growing trend and provide your clients with a differentiated investment solution. Remember that timing the entry point for investing is always fraught with difficulty, and very few investors can demonstrate consistent success in doing so. As quoted by Ken Fisher, an American billionaire investment analyst and author, time in the market almost always beats timing the market, and this will never be more relevant than when considering offshore investments for your clients. Thank you so much, Momentum Financial Planning, for listening today. We look forward to going on this offshore investment journey with you. Stefan Nell, a regional manager in Momentum Wealth, will take us through their digital solution suite and the capabilities they have been working on to make the investment process so much easier for you.
Thanks, Natalie. Hello, everyone. Developing and enhancing digital solutions is a strategic focus area for Momentum Wealth. Our job is to make the business of doing business more intuitive and an integrated part of the investment journey. As such, with an ever-expanding suite of products, you can access a wide range of information tailored to give you information at your fingertips. Our solution suite is designed to be part of the client journey every step of the way, from creating a fee and benefit proposal to the new business process, and all the way through the service and maintenance of their investments. Because we understand that time is an ever more precious commodity, we want to offer you the ability to access your clients' information when and where it suits you. The online capturing process means that we have eliminated the need for endless reams of paperwork. Documents can be effortlessly uploaded, contracts can be signed digitally, and our back-end process automation capabilities mean that it can all happen wherever you or your clients are. This is our vision for the future of investing, a complete, hands-on, integrated approach that brings your clients closer to you and makes sure that you, as a critical link between us and your clients, are able to offer them world-class solutions at a touch of a button. In addition, investments are handled effortlessly, and the system is capable of allowing offshore to local switching, as well as Section 14 fee agreement uploads. By accessing the Funds tab, you can have full access to the capabilities when it comes to managing your clients' funds and fund distributions across certain product categories. The online toolkit is incredibly powerful for advisors to have real-time, live access to a number of functionalities, including the income projection calculator, the Rio projection income payments graph, and effective annual cost, or EAC, and obviously the Momentum Wealth investment tool. A full suite of reporting capabilities will put information in your hands, helping you to make informed decisions with your clients. By allowing the clients to access their information, they can check their investment products and even update certain information without the need for endless paperwork. As with every online integration tool, support is critical, and so we offer multiple support channels for you and your clients to get the help that they need. Our digital solutions suite is part of the ongoing commitment to making sure that dealing with Momentum Wealth is a journey into the future, a journey towards enhancing your investment advice offering to your clients, and that being part of the Momentum Investments family is a positive and innovative experience from start to finish. Thank you very much for listening. We've also created a short video to show you some of our digital solutions.
We are all on a journey into the future. Every day, we look to our horizons and plot a new course. As human beings, innovation drives us. The need to do more, to be more efficient, and to hold our destiny in our own hands. For us at Momentum Wealth, this is what drives us. The need for constant improvement, for new ways to help clients with greater access to their information, better ways to communicate, and a feeling of comfort that comes from knowing that they are part of a shared destiny and that they are in control of their tomorrow. We know that innovation is not a finite point on the horizon. That technology is a constantly evolving, growing, and changing benchmark. And so, we are always looking for new and better ways to offer you more. We value our partnership, and as your needs change, we want you to be able to offer your clients a more personal service. You need information at your fingertips, tools that save you time and allow you to up your game. And we want to be a part of this journey with you. Because with us, investing is personal.
Thank you for watching the global edition of MFP Outcome Matters. Just a reminder that the full video will be hosted on our website on momentum.co.za under Investments and Savings. We look forward to hosting you again at our next MFP Outcome Matters event.